Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today we're focusing on a topic that's critical for the next generation, teen and youth skincare. As young people navigating puberty, social pressures, and a sea of misinformation about their skin, it can feel overwhelming. In today's episode, we'll clear up the myths, give you some expert tips on healthy skin routines, and talk about the confidence that comes from understanding your unique skin. Whether you're a teen, a parent, or just curious to hear our thoughts on this, stay tuned as we break down everything you need to know about youth skin health.
This is a great subject to talk about, Andrea, because although we don't have teen kids, we have friends who have... Yet. Although they are behaving like teen kids. We have lots of friends who have teenagers who have all varying manners of skincare issues that they ask us. So we've had to become experts in, obviously, skincare and teen skin pretty quickly. So I'll start the conversation off by asking one question to start. So Andrea, what are some of the common mistakes do you see teens making today when it comes to skincare, and maybe how we can avoid them?
Okay, so probably the most common mistake I see is that they are getting their information from TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
On what they should be using on their skin. And in fact, I think some of them are even misunderstanding the TikTok information. And so what we're finding is a lot of young people are using vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and all kinds of other acids like retinol on their skin. And they do not need to be using those things.
That's right.
If anything, it's actually damaging their skin. And they may not see it right now, but they will eventually. And our goal of this episode, if you're a parent or if you are a teen yourself, is to give you the tools and the information that you need so that you make better choices.
Exactly. That's a good point. So, is there anything that you see right now? Like, I know that one of our friends, their teenage daughter and son, over-exfoliate with physical exfoliation too much. So they're basically scratching their skin. They're using too many products, stacking them without understanding how to stack.
Or even understanding what they do.
Exactly.
They just saw it on, somewhere. And they're like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. Not necessarily.
Well, remember there was a big trend in about a couple of years ago called slugging. So slugging was basically putting things like Vaseline, heavy like petroleum-based creams onto their skin before nighttime. And what they would do, and they would say the next day, the skin feels soft and moisture. And this was a whole TikTok trend. And the problem is that the reason why that it's soft, it feels soft and moist the next day, you're basically wrapping your skin in cellophane, and all the moisture gets trapped. That's great, and if you're looking for, the skin to never lose moisturization or not evaporate when you're sleeping. The problem is it clogs your pores considerably. So if when you start breaking out about 4 days in or getting rashes, well, now I think you'll understand why, right? So that was a big trend, slugging.
You also need to think of your skin as a living organism. Like, it needs to breathe. It needs to be exposed to air. And when you're slugging, if that's the term, it's actually dangerous and harmful to your skin.
Yeah.
The other one I want to talk to you about is the over-exfoliating. This is something that I used to do. So when I had an acne breakout as a teenager, young adult, I remember I would try to find the harshest exfoliant I could find, like a coffee scrub or something, and I would just scrub it all over my face as harshly as I could, thinking that I was stripping that layer and getting rid of it, and then the acne was going to go away. But what would happen is my skin would be so inflamed and red and irritated, it actually made it worse.
Yep, that's exactly what it does. So for everyone listening right now, a coffee scrub or any kind of physical scrub, a physical scrub takes layers of dead skin away. So the equivalent in that on the liquid side is an AHA, alpha hydroxy acid, something like a lactic acid, strips away a water-soluble acid, strips away dead skin in the top layer. Great. It does not actually take care of the one thing that acne skin needs, which is to bind the oil or the excess oil that's being produced by your body. And teen bodies produce a lot of oil because you're growing, right? And that gets basically clogged in your pores and it stays. Because what needs to happen with an oil clogged skin is to use something called a BHA or beta hydroxy acid, a salicylic acid, let's say, that binds with oil and clears it away. By the way, if you go to a dermatologist and you have severe acne, they will use something like an 8 to 10% salicylic acid. It literally burns your skin right off. You don't want that. If you have mild to even you're beginning to have some serious acne, but it's not clinically severe, you don't want to go to 8 to 10% because it hurts a lot. So anywhere from 1 to 2%, and our AHA, BHA exfoliant has a 2% BHA, that's enough. You use that for about 2 weeks, you'll see a humongously drastic difference in your acne skin. But one thing to keep in mind, as Andrea is alluding to, is that this is the moment we're born, up to about 21 in age. So think of it as this: how when do you see kids grow until? Like, what is the age until you stop growing? Right, that's about 18, 19, 21 on average. Some people grow, they have a growth spurt much later in life. Growth is not just height, right? Your skin is also growing. Everything is growing. Bone is growing. Organs are growing. And so is your collagen. Your collagen and elastin are produced rapidly in an abundance until you're about 18 to 19 to 21, which includes oil. You don't need to stimulate collagen production in skin, that is teen skin or young skin, because you're already producing excess of this stuff, right? So
which is what's helping you grow.
Exactly.
And helping you look the way you look.
Exactly. If you have an acne-prone skin, the two things you just simply must do is bind away your oils and your dead skin. So use an AHA, BHA, oil-soluble, water-soluble exfoliant to get that out. Don't use a coffee scrub or a physical scrub. It's too much. And then just simply calm down that inflammation and get your skin to what I call equilibrium, so that it's not overly dry, it doesn't crack, so your skin now says, oh, I got to produce more oil. The key is not to produce more oil, because every time your skin gets irritated, inflamed, or dry, your body, your skin wants to produce more oil to protect itself. That's when you get more acne.
So I would say that's a misconception. And one of them is that people think that if you dry out your skin, then you won't have oily skin anymore. But it's actually the opposite.
Big mistake. Big mistake. Drying out your skin may look like, it's maybe the red mark or the post-acne does not look so bad, but it's the worst for you. And in fact, it creates acne scars for down the road.
Yeah.
Right?
What are some of the myths surrounding teen skincare that you've heard of so far, Peter, like misconceptions?
Well, I mean, there's so many misconceptions because TikTok and Instagram seem to push anything that looks like clickable, right? So slugging, slugging is crazy. The idea of putting in petroleum-based jelly on your skin day after night after night after night is a crazy idea, which I think if you think about it, you wouldn't even know. Slugging is one. How about this? The misconceptions. Just don't trust social media unless you do your own research. Just be a little suspicious of everything that comes out of TikTok and Instagram, because their goal is not to give you better skin or treat your skincare concerns. The goal is to get clicks, right? So anything interesting.
There's a trend that's coming to mind for me, a myth, or whatever you want to call it, is that there's a lot of tweens, so not even teens, but tweens, so like between 10 and 12-ish, who are obsessing over skincare routines that include skin peels and potent formulas like retinol.
Yeah.
So what would you, this is concerning to me. What would you say about that?
I would say, just like we just talked about 5 minutes ago, no, you don't need any kind of active concentration. So, or concentrated corrective. So retinol is definitely out. Like retinol, by the way, retinoic acid, the derivatives of retinol are tretinoin, benzoyl peroxide. It works like a tretinoin, isotretinoin, like Accutane. So derivatives of retinoic acid in higher concentrations are used to treat acne, right? They're highly, highly caustic. So using that to your skin as a daily anti-aging is not necessary. It's probably in the long term harmful.
Yes.
I would stay away from that.
I remember there being like a Sephora. There's an issue where there was like a young girl and a mom who went in, and the girl spent all her money in Sephora, and I think she was like 10 or 11 years old. And the social media world went crazy over that. Like, why is your daughter buying all this expensive skincare?
No need.
To each his own if that's what you want to do. But I think the point we are trying to make is, number one, it's unnecessary. Number two, it can be harmful, especially because their skin is still growing. They're still growing. So what you are doing is you're actually inhibiting that growth, and you're creating problems for them down the road.
When you're 14 years old, your body is producing a lot of oil, collagen, and elastin. There's no need to stimulate it. It doesn't do anything for you. And there's no, I look at things from a cost-benefit perspective. There's just no benefit of using that type of stuff. If you were to ask me what should a teen use, I'd say cleanse, right? A proper cleanser, because you're probably wearing makeup at 14, 15, 16. Although I don't agree with it personally, but that's not my choice. You wear makeup at 14, 15, 16, fine. You gotta wash that off. So a double cleanser, oil foam, bind the oils, cleanse the dead skin with water or foaming action, then balance your skin's pH, right? Those are the basics, and then use some kind of moisturizer. Doesn't need to be anti-aging.
Simple ingredients.
Simple.
One of the things we use on our kids is the tallow butter. We love it. It's very clean ingredients. It's beautiful for their skin. It's healthy for that. So even that I might recommend to test out. But again, it's going to be a trial and error for you to see what works for your skin, especially teenagers. As you said, there's a lot of oil production there and acne and all those things. So if you have acne, you might want to use something that's a little lightweight, a little more light than something like a tallow butter. But you don't need anything complicated. Yeah,
I would suggest our Common Glow snail mucin. The snail is natural. It's very hydrating, and there's nothing caustic in it at all. And it's skin healing. So that would be something that, and for the price, under $30, it's a very, very cost-effective, all-inclusive healing serum that you can use in many situations. And the last thing I think that's important for teens is start using your sunscreen now.
Yes.
Because you'll see a humongous difference 10 years from now.
You can avoid a lot of problems down the road with just doing that.
Absolutely.
But if you are using sunscreen, you want to remember to be cleansing very well at night, because sunscreen can clog the pores if it's not washed out properly. Yeah.
And when you produce excess sebum, excess oils, and that's not cleansed up properly, that will then mix with your makeup that's not cleansed properly, with your sunscreen that's not cleansed properly, and create this gunk that gets stuck in your pores, and that leads to breakouts.
The other thing I want to talk about with teens is also, as you are growing, as we are talking about skin health, you have to look at what other factors play a role in the healthy, glowing skin that you are trying to achieve.
Yes, good point.
Sleep is so fundamental to healthy skin. I cannot stress it enough. Like, if you're not sleeping properly, your skin will show. Sleep is the time when your skin has the chance to heal. It has the chance to regenerate. And I notice it. If I don't get a good night's sleep, I wake up and my skin is not looking its best.
Yeah, that's a good point. And isn't that the first thing that you should do? Like, for example, one of the most popular products out there, including Proactive and Accutane, way back in the day, I remember, was a product called Accutane, which the chemical name for Accutane is isotretinoin. And isotretinoin is a derivative of retinoic acid, very strong, and it's meant for acne breakouts. The side effects of Accutane, if you didn't know, are as minor as nausea, back pain, blurred vision, but as major as having problems with conceiving later in life, suicidal thoughts, anorexia, severe weight loss.
And I think weight gain as well.
Weight gain as well in some people.
Yeah.
The onset of inflammatory bowel syndrome. So there are, a list and a whole host of negative side effects that come with something like an Accutane.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that, or at least in North America, it's very easy, or it's the process by which, you have acne and then you treat acne with Accutane or isotretinoin or any of these harsh chemicals. The very first thing you should be looking at is, sugar intake, exercise, sleep, water intake. So those four things are probably the greatest drivers of success or of efficacy in skin health. Yeah. And then a good, non-harsh, everyday skincare routine, like we just talked about. Simple skincare routine. Yeah. Try those first, please.
Yeah, when we talk about diet is so key. But the problem is it's hard to track a diet. Like, for example, I might say, I had a great diet this week. I ate other things. But then if I actually wrote down all the things, I may have missed the chocolate bar that I had, or I may have missed, the processed foods that I ate on the weekend. So, or the movie night snacks. And it's not to say that you shouldn't have those things, but I think consistency in all of those things is a long game. So, for example, if you are struggling with skin concerns as a teen or a tween or a young person, I urge you to keep a journal of your daily habits and be brutally honest. Nobody's going to judge you. It's just for you to look at for a week or two. What time do I get up? What time do I go to bed? What do I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do I have those meals? How much water am I drinking? Keep tabs. How much exercise or movement have I got? How much sunshine have I got? Yeah, exactly. You have your water bottle that kind of keeps you accountable. But those things are really foundational things that will not only make your skin look better, but it also makes you feel better and gives you more energy, and it will help the longevity. And when you're little, you don't think about being 50. You think, I want it to be good now. You don't think about the long game, and I get that. But it's really important to focus on lifestyle habits and building those habits and being really honest with yourself about what your current habits are before going in to get a prescription for Accutane. Because yes, it will help to clear your skin probably more quickly than sleeping properly and eating healthy foods. But as a long-term solution, the Accutane will have much more harsh effects on your body, your mind, and your total well-being. So if you're a parent and you're listening to this, I highly suggest that you start with the lifestyle habits before running to get a steroid cream and Accutane, trying to just put a Band-Aid on the solution. Sorry, a Band-Aid on the problem.
Yeah, most skin concerns and skin issues are an offshoot of metabolic dysfunction. So when blemishes and breakouts in the skin are actually just simply a symptom of what's actually going on in the body. Exactly. And it's trying to give you a clue as to an imbalance that's happening in your body. And before we close off this particular thought on teen skin, just know that most bread in North America are considered to be candy or cake in Europe. So because of the sugar content and what's inside of our breads that we eat in the grocery stores, in Europe, they consider that to be dessert candy because it's not considered bread. What I mean to say is that all of our foods, from breads to cheese to whatever, they're all laden with sugar. They're all laden with chemicals and excess salt that will heavily imbalance your your body, and into a growing body, like a teen body, it comes out as acne
That's right.
breakouts because there's a
it's really
severe
important,
imbalance,
yeah.
right?
That's a very good point.
So-
It's important to read the labels.
Absolutely.
Read the labels of all the products that you're bringing home, and the ones that have the fewest ingredients are the ones that are better to choose for you and for your children. I want to add one more thing. I want to talk a little bit about some of the chemicals that we have in some of the sunscreens and some of the other skincare products. Some of those chemicals, like fragrance, for example, can actually create hormonal imbalances and problems in children. So them applying those creams luxuriously all over their faces day and night is actually quite harmful hormonally as well. So if you are using skincare products that have fragrance, I would recommend strongly to find something else because they are not good for you.
Further to that, let's talk about, if we're talking about ingredients in skincare products, and Andrea just mentioned sunscreen. So the prevailing wisdom obviously is that wearing any kind of sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. But there are two types of sunscreen out there in the market. One's a little cheaper than the other. The first one is a chemical-based sunscreen, and they use something like an avobenzone as the SPF, the UV filter. Chemical sunscreens are absorbed by the skin, and when they absorb UV light, it turns to heat, but they're absorbed by the skin. Physical sunscreens have either titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. We have zinc oxide in ours, and they sit on top of the skin and do the exact same thing. The avobenzone-based sunscreen, like, I don't want to mention any brand names, but if you go to the store, you can get a bottle for $15, let's say, for like half a liter. The reason why they're so cheap is because these chemicals are abundant and cheap to acquire, but they are, in long term, not the best choice for sunscreen. So always look to choose mineral-based sunscreen because it does not get absorbed by your skin. The last thing, that choice should be made whether you are, no matter what age you are.
Right.
But especially for a skin that is, or a body that's overproducing collagen, elastin, sebum, oils, everything that that a human body can produce, the teen body is overproducing. And then you introduce that into avobenzone in the mix, or isotretinoin at the same time, you can now see the dangers of mixing all of these together. It's not great for the skin. And guess what happens? It breaks out, or it inflames, or it shows you that it's not happy.
Right.
So that is another thing to consider.
Peter, how do you think the pressure to have perfect skin affects teens' mental health? And how can we shift that conversation to focus more heavily on skin health, like how we were talking about lifestyle and gut health and all of that? We want kids to focus more on that, like take care of yourself, as opposed to this obsession with beauty and youth and that perfect filtered skin.
I don't know the answer to that question. I think the idea of looking beautiful, having perfect skins, extends all the way back to 5,000 years before Christ. I mean, it used to be said that lactic acid, which is basically comes from milk, it was used by Cleopatra way long ago in Egypt to make her skin look beautiful. So the idea of beautiful skin or youthful skin has been around since the dawn of time for people. So I don't think that's going to go away. I think all the kids will obsess over skin over the long term. What I can say is that if you will have more success, it may take a little longer, but you'll have more success by addressing the core aspects of metabolic health and skin health, because it will address the core issues and also last longer. So, you take a couple of months, you get a great skincare routine, you start seeing results. If you just simply maintain that skincare routine, you'll probably see the same results for a lifetime or for a long time. You use Accutane, isotretinoin for a month, you stop using it, it's gonna come back because the underlying issues are still there. So what I would say to the youths who are asking this question is, it may take a little longer, but in the long term, it is easier and much more effective to look at it from a foundational perspective. So look at what you can do to change your lifestyle habits and find the foundational solution to a metabolic issue, which is breakouts.
So like root causes.
Yeah.
Like look for the root causes of the problems. For example, acne is the problem, but acne is just like it's not the cause. It's just the effect of something going on more deeply that we don't know. So instead of treating the symptom, you want to treat
exactly
the root cause.
Exactly. So don't, just spend a little extra time, be patient, and look at the long game. Don't try to, I would recommend not trying to solve the problem overnight by, slugging or, putting, what's the other thing? They got these stickers now, right? That dry out your pimples.
Yeah. Like toothpaste.
Yeah, toothpaste, which doesn't work, by the way.
Tried it. But I think there's more to it, to be honest. I don't know the answer to this question either, but I do think that our obsession with youth and the youthful beauty, I think that's put to blame in the way that social media and like print media and all of it, the way that we really celebrate youth. And now that I'm 43 and I'm getting to my mid-40s, I'm feeling like life is just starting. And I'm connecting with women in their 50s and 60s and even their 70s who are in the most exciting chapters of their lives. And they're beautiful and they have wrinkles. But they have this wisdom about them and this like confidence about them that, I don't know, it's just different. It's powerful. And if we could somehow get our little ones to be little and be little a little bit longer and just be okay with, whatever it is that, if it's the pimples, if it's, the awkward body hair or the whatever it is that's sort of happening to them through puberty, we could find a way to normalize it and not make it bad. I think that would be so impactful for all of these young people. Like I remember being a young girl, like I think I was in grade 6 or 7. And I remember having hair on my legs and how mortified I was because my mom wouldn't let me shave or wax or do anything because I was so young. And how much I got made fun of. And so I went home and I locked myself in the bathroom and I shaved my legs. And I cut myself and I did it all wrong. And so I feel like if we just start having these conversations with our kids younger about all the things, hair removal, acne, all of it, and make it normal and accessible to get proper information, I think that makes such a difference.
I hope so, but I mean,
I hope so.
What we do know is that, the peers have much more effect and control over our children than parents do. I mean, let's face it, after when the kids go to school, like the control over the kids or the influence over the kids disappears and their peers have more say. I don't think this will ever go away. The word we're looking for is wisdom and experience, these 70-year-olds. And that's, at the end of the day, what it comes down to. Wisdom and
just
experience.
Having that openness with the people in your life that you can ask questions so that you're not depending on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Love Saranghae. We hope today's episode helped shed some light on how young people can care for their skin safely and effectively. If you or someone you know is struggling with skincare concerns, remember there's no perfect skin, only healthy skin. So stay empowered by knowledge, not TikTok. Fully embrace your natural beauty and remember that true confidence comes from within. As always, if you have questions more specifically to your situation, write in, DM us on Instagram. We're here for you.
Okay, with that, let's sign off. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.